Paramount Pictures is currently filming a major motion picture in North Georgia called
Very interesting things which you'll see once you check out that movie.
We generally work on a few different types of projects. Obviously, we do a lot of short films.
Michael, how did you get started in filmmaking?
A very large part of the success of any project.
I started my filmmaking career actually on a cruise ship making short films.
Wow. I'm the executive producer to our new feature film, The Common Denominator.
Tell us a little bit about your character in the film.
She's really upset from the beginning, from the get-go.
Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, basically, I somehow started acting in 1990.
Hello, I'm Lakesha Love, and I'd like to welcome you to another great episode of Rural Hollywood, a show that takes an in-depth look at all aspects of the movie industry, from pre-production to post. On today's episode, Lauren Turner will talk with Rod Lewis of Rod Lewis Entertainment. It's about his independent sitcom, House of Jones. But first, Tara Wilson will sit down with filmmakers Parthiban Shanmugam and Siva Kumar Selvaraj about his documentaries and his upcoming drama, Black Men Can Swim.
Hi, I'm Tara, and we are here with filmmaker and producer Parthi and Kumar of Vanilla Films. But I want them to actually formally introduce themselves because I don't want to mess up the names. Go ahead, guys.
I'm Parthiban Shanmugam Tara.
My Siva Selvaraj, and I go by Kumar.
Kumar, I like Kumar. And can I go by Parthi?
Yeah, of course.
Been doing it all day. Okay, cool. Tell me, you have an interesting resume. Please tell me about your history as a lawyer and a stand-up comedian, Parthi.
You know, I come from an Indian family. When you tell them you want to go to cinema and make movies, you're out. So normally the Indian family likes to be their children to be a doctors, lawyers, and engineers. So I thought I had a big mouth, so I said I should take law. And they are happy. Then I went to law school. Then I became a lawyer. But always, there's a cinema is in the back of my mind. So the college days and the school days, I started to do stand-up comedies. And I used to do a lot of skits, dramas, stuff like that.
You are a stand-up comedian. Are you currently doing stand-up,
No.
or you just left that alone? Okay.
I left them all.
Okay. Did you work here in Atlanta as well as your home in New York?
No, actually, I just moved to Atlanta.
Okay.
So my first feature film was entirely shot in Atlanta.
Okay. All right. Do you do stand-up too?
No, not really. Okay. No, not at all.
All right. So how did you go from lawyer, stand-up comedian, to filmmaking?
So as I told you earlier, the filmmaking process always in my mind. Then when I finished my law school, my job was actually as a telemedicine attorney. So which is again now, the cinema is there. Basically the telemedicine law is the doctor will be in one place and is looking at the patient from other side. Right. So there is a camera involved.
Yes.
So I'm sitting there as a lawyer. So I said to myself, it looks like even in a law profession, the cinema is with me. So, I was watching all this and I said, no, this is not for me. Cinema is my passion, so I should go to cinema.
Wow.
I went and worked with Hollywood directors and Bollywood directors for a while, and I did not go to film school. So I just wanted to feel and see how the cinema in real life.
Hands-on
so
experience.
I worked from every department. I started a cinema. And first I did a film called The Mother Goddess, which is in Indian language.
Okay.
It's about a child prostitution. And this film actually won several awards around the globe. It's a short film. And I like to use always real people in the film or documentaries. So this film, although it's a film, but I used all the real child prostitute and the abusers and everybody, whoever real people are. And this film actually brought there is a Asha Foundation in Seattle. They actually, there is a website, you can see them. They went to India and built a school for 1,000 female children. And they are doing a remarkable job now. And a government, after this film came, Government of India brought the legislation that they cannot offer a children, which is a 6-month-old child or 12 years old child, you cannot offer to the goddess the name of offering, and you can make them as a public property.
Wow.
So that's a law has been enacted. Then after that, we did a documentary. It's called The Celestial Brides.
That's commendable, by the way, before you even move on. Wow, that is extremely commendable.
Yes.
Wow. Kumar, what was your background before you even got into filmmaking or producing?
Like Parthy said, like in any other Indian, I did majored in hospitality. Then I did also in software engineering. I was a software engineer. But the movie making is always was my passion since the childhood. And now I'm currently doing totally on the films.
Full time?
Full time.
Wow. Just like you don't practice law anymore.
No, not anymore.
Wow. That is love for the art. That's passion right there. Wow. Wow. All right, tell me, what's the difference, and both of you can tell me about this, what's the difference in shooting a documentary than shooting a different type of piece, like a dramatic piece, let's say?
It's not a simple thing. I mean, the documentaries, you don't know what is going to happen. I mean, the way I do a documentary is totally a cinema verite, which means I take a camera and go, whatever happens and happens. We just lived 18 months on the streets in Ponce de Leon. After The Black Man Can't Swim, we shot the feature film. We went back to the documentary. So Kumar was driving, I was in a camera. There's only two people we were, because this is what we're going to do now is, we wanted to see and study 6 homeless people. There's about 3 ladies and 3 men. We want to see their life, and also we were trying to change their life. Whatever we could do to make their life and come to some solution into their life. So in that, I mean, that's all we don't know we're going to make 6 people, we're going to see it, because everything is going to be a surprise. And you're going to live, it's going to live in a road, and you're going to take a shower in a YMCA, you're going to sleep in your car. Sometime you cannot eat, and sometime, I mean, the situation is very bad. I mean, you don't know whether you're going to be attacked by a police.
So there are no storyboards at
all? No storyboards at all. I don't know anything what is going to happen there. And even the questions are not preset, because we wanted to see and feel is like almost like a reality TV kind of stuff. So whatever they speak, and we pick up from there, and we do that. And we did actually the documentary called We Are Not Far Away. Okay. We just finished it. It's in the post-production right now.
Shot here in Atlanta?
Yes. In Ponce de Leon. Okay. And that actually the documentary follows up to Alabama and Mississippi. We went there, all these places with them, and tried to put them back into their family, whether the family want them. It's very...
Tell us about it. Our audience wants to know, because I know you faced tons of challenges with the documentary.
I can say there's one character I wanted to emphasize on this. This woman name is Linda Gale. She lived on a Ponce de Leon, McDonald's area for 16 years. She was a former nurse, studied in Alabama, studied in New York. And she never seen her child, who was a 1-year-old when she left home. Now the child is 17. And she did not speak to her mother for 16 years. Nobody knows. But while we were following this woman, we asked her, what do you want to do in her life? She said, I wanted to see my mother. She started to cry. Then, I mean like, it's maybe a stupid question. I just asked her, do you have a telephone number? And she do. Then she gave the number. Then I said, I mean, we had a lot of bitter experience previously with other homeless people. They cheated us, they frauded us, Right. So I was also expecting this one is going to cheat me too. So I said, Kumar, just call this number. And he called. Everything was on camera, actually. We were recording it. He called. Can you imagine, even after 16 years, the telephone number is the same, and it rings in a home in Alabama. So there is a woman pick up, and he talks to her, and he says, do you have a lady called Linda Gale is a relative? Oh, that's my daughter. Then he says that she wants to see you, she wants to talk to you. So you give a phone. There was a big commotion and emotions were going on.
I bet. That's an Oprah moment.
Yeah, she begged that I wanted to see back. This woman did not take a shower 16 years, I can tell you. And she don't know what, she was in a bipolar and all this problem. So then we said, can we bring her home? She want to see you. She said, yes, you can bring her home. We took her, put her in a motel, cleaned her, got her a new clothes, made her...
you guys did that?
We did everything. Now we went and knocked the door. Mother, what do you expect? Mother going to come and hug her and kiss her and take her daughter back, right? Yeah. She don't want her home. She closed the door on her face.
After you'd spoken to them
right.
on the telephone, and she...
The reason we found out, the mother has adopted her daughter. She's getting a social security and all the benefits. And the houses belong to Linda Gale. So if she comes home, it's all going to go, number one. And then number two, Linda actually sided with her father 16 years ago. when they got a divorce, mother and her father. So that's the reason she went to New York to study in Hunter College for nursing.
That's an entire script right there.
Right
You
there.
know that. I mean,
Yeah.
based on real life, that is serious drama.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, this is a way we do a documentary. We don't do a documentary like a two sitting head or a talking head sitting there and talking about I did this, you did this. No. I was just like, I'll follow. If I like to watch a Tyra's life, 8 o'clock she's in Rural Hollywood, and if
there you go.
10 o'clock she's teaching a kindergarten, my camera will be there. That's the way we do it.
I love that. All right, your feature film, Black Men Can Swim.
Black Men Can Swim is actually another remarkable story, actually.
I love the title.
I'll tell you why this title is. This is also, again, it's a real life story. I work out at YMCA in Decatur. I'm from New York. So I just met a guy, nice looking guy, and he's a black guy, and he came and introduced himself. He said, I'm a trainer. I moved from New York. Then I said, I'm from New York too, so we became buddies, and it's a first date, sir. He said, my name is Abdul. I said, okay, Abdul, what made you to come to Atlanta? He said, I wanted to become a rap singer. And you know, Atlanta is hip-hop.
It's the Mecca for hip-hop, right?
Hip-hop Mecca.
Yeah.
So that's what I came, and I sing, and that's what I came. Then we were just talking. Then the second day, then sitting in with me, and he was telling about his life story. He just moved 6 months ago to Atlanta, fallen in love with a girl who is also a hip-hop singer from Alabama. And the 7th month, they got married. 8th month, she ran away from him and went with somebody else. He was totally dejected. I said, wow, it's interesting. I mean, there's a man. Then I asked, what is this girl? He said, she's a white girl and she sings hip-hop. Okay. I said, right there is a story.
She's moving in on another one.
You better watch it, sugar.
Sorry, I didn't see you standing there.
Well, that's because I wasn't there before.
Hi.
Huh? Are you a trainer? I've been seeing you a lot around here lately, helping some of these poor old fools catch up with themselves. You new here?
Well, yes and yes.
Oh. Name's J.L.
Abdul.
Oh, Abdul. You must be royalty.
You can say that.
Believe me, I will.
J.L. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty. Never heard it before.
Well, that's because I'm special. Mama always said I was.
And I bet your mother knows exactly what she's talking about.
She sure does. I'll see you around, Abdul.
In the midst of a barrage of questions and accusations.
Parthy and Kumar, tell us, where can our audience go to find out more about this feature film as well as all of the other multiple projects you guys have worked on?
Yeah, this feature film, actually, you can check it on Google Videos and YouTube. There is a trailer right now. Otherwise, if you want to see, read about us more and whatever we are doing, it's www.vanillafilms.com.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for blessing us.
My pleasure indeed. Right. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Tyra.
No problem.
For more information, log on to our website, www.rulhollywood.com. Next up is Lauren Turner and her interview with Rod Lewis about his independent sitcom, House of Jones.
Hello, I'm Lauren Turner, and we're here with Rod Lewis, the creator of the independent sitcom, The House of Jones. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good. So, Rod, tell us how you got started in the entertainment industry.
Well, I first started in Los Angeles. That's where I'm from. Okay. I started as a stand-up comedian at clubs in Los Angeles. And then I started writing for other comedians. From there, I started doing plays, producing, directing plays, acting in plays, and then I started writing sitcoms.
You're writing sitcoms. So, I mean, it seems like you've been doing a lot, but your sitcom, House of Jones, I mean, how did you start creating that? What made you want to do this sitcom?
Well, writing is what I enjoy doing the most, and living in Los Angeles, I saw a lot of wonderful comedies back in the 70s, and one in particular was Soap that I liked a lot. And so this one is kind of like Soap. It's a black version of Soap. I wanted to create the same comedy, the same craziness of soap, but I want to do a black version of soap. So that's how the House of Jones started to come about.
Okay, so tell us about the House of Jones.
The House of Jones is a sitcom about two brothers that own and operate a funeral home. But the brothers are the complete opposites of each other. Benny Jones is a womanizer. He's a heathen of the family. He's a big cheat, can't do right. His brother Bill Jones, the character that I play, is a religious fanatic. He's the guy that thinks he has a special relationship with God. He sees visions and he believes that God keeps telling him to prepare for the end. So he does outrageous things to prepare for the end. And the House of Jones is a different type of comedy in that most comedies have a problem at the beginning of the show, and then they resolve the problem, and at the end of the show, everything's back to normal. This is different. This is a continuation comedy. The problem is not resolved at the end of the show. It has a voiceover that starts the show to introduce the last week's episode, and at the end of the show, it recaps the situations on the show and asks the viewers to stay tuned for next week to see how it's going to work out.
Oh, that's different. Well, I have to know, your character that you play is sounds kind of different. Do you think you're like that character? Is that the reason why you wrote it? I mean, are you anything like him?
You know, to tell you the truth, I am a little bit of both characters.
Okay.
Benny Jones and Bill Jones. When I first wrote it, I wrote the character of Benny Jones so that I could play it. Because it's always, for an actor, it's always a challenge to play a bad guy. Benny Jones is a bad guy. He's the heathen of the family. But as I started interviewing actors to play Bill Jones, the religious guy, I couldn't find an actor to portray him exactly the way that I wanted to. I kept telling him, oh, you got to play Bill Jones like this. No, do it like this, do it like this. And I never could get anyone to do that. So finally, it just dawned on me, why don't I play Bill Jones?
Right.
That's how Bill Jones is. Bill Jones is an over-the-top religious guy. He spits out scriptures every other sentence. I enjoy playing Bill Jones because he's just outrageous in the things that he does.
I don't think I want to be in the same room as him. I'm just kidding. Okay, so tell me about the team of people that you work with, your cast, your crew.
I have a great cast. You know, I've done several plays in the past, and I have to say, and I've told my cast this cast with the House of Jones, the best cast I've ever had. Sam Knight plays Benny Jones. He plays my brother. Excellent actor. A lot of the cast is like myself. We're regular folks. We have regular jobs, but we love the theater. Sam Knight, I met him through the different theaters that he plays in the South. Excellent actor. Then I have the actresses that plays our wives. Marion Oglesby plays my wife. Patrice Wary plays Benny Jones' wife. Again, excellent actors. This is the type of cast I've never had a problem with. They're always on rehearsal on time. They always got their lines memorized. It's a joy to play with these characters. There's the one who inspired me to keep writing. After we did the first episode, they were like, Rob, when are you going to write another one? When are you going to write another one? So I enjoy this cast, like I said, the best I've ever had.
That's great. Well, I know that you have a great cast, and that's excellent, but I'm sure that you had challenges, you know, producing this and writing it. And tell us about some of those challenges you had to deal with.
Well, the biggest challenge is to write for 10 different characters. And you got to continue to write funny things for all 10 characters. And then Benny Jones and Bill Jones are two different families. So I've got to write things for this family, and I got to write things for that family. Both families are in different situations. They're going a different direction. They're complete opposite each other. So I've got to keep that interesting and funny at the same time and write something interesting for all 10 characters because everybody wants more. They always want more. So that's been the challenge, but it's been fun because I enjoy the characters. They're fun to write about, and I can take them in so many different places. So that's the only challenge I've ever had is just how do I continue to keep it interesting.
Now let's take a look at a clip from House of Jones.
This is the story of two brothers, Benny Jones and Bill Jones. This is the family of Benny Jones. This is the family of Bill Jones. and together they make up the House of Jones.
You know I don't like it when you keep secrets from me.
Nope. I'm sworn to secrecy. And you people thought I was crazy. But you'll see. Something traumatic. The likes that have never been seen in the annals of time, in the history of the world, from the creation of the universe, is about to happen.
Okay, but can't you just give me a hint? I'm just curious, that's all. And I won't tell anybody.
No. You're just trying to trick me. I ain't stupid. I know what you're trying to do. I'm not telling you anything. It's just between me and God. You with little faith. Matthew chapter 17, verse 20.
Hi, everybody.
Hey. What's up, Mom?
It's your father. He claims to have had another revelation from God.
Oh, please. I hope he didn't see Jesus again.
And I cannot stay up on Stone Mountain all night again. I'm almost frustrated up there. And besides that, the kids at school are still making fun of me behind that.
Bill, I hope you're not going to embarrass this family by going public with this, are you?
Oh my God, Mama, I'm going to move this time. I'm just going to move.
No, you don't have to move. Because your father's not going to do anything to cause any undue attention to this family. Because he knows how much that would hurt us all. And if he decides to go public with any new revelations, we have no choice but to have him committed to an insane asylum.
But Mom, what if he escapes from the insane asylum? You haven't planned it.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Oh no, he's having another revelation.
Oh, that's just my cell phone. Hello? The Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Thanks for returning my call.
Mama, you called up the newspaper.
That's right.
Bill, talk to me.
I want you to have an exclusive on this world-changing event, and then I'm going to go to CNN. Okay.
Bill, what's going on?
Listen, I can't reveal anything until God gives me the okay. You know, me and God communicate on a regular basis. No, I don't mean he calls me up. I mean we talk on a regular basis.
Mom, you've got to do something.
No, listen. That's all I can reveal for now. Okay? All right, bye.
All right, everybody, in the kitchen now. We're going to have a family meeting. Oh, no, not you. This meeting is about you.
Well, aren't we huffy?
So, what are some of the goals that you've set for your sitcom?
Well, you know, first of all, I as all writers of sitcoms, I want to get a TV deal. But what I want for the House of Jones is the experience I had. One of the, a lady who I've never met before, she called me up after the show, and she says to me, "I'm mad at you." And I says, "Why?" She says, "Because you made my stomach hurt from all the laughter I got from that show." Now, what I want to do is to duplicate that 1,000,000 times over throughout the nation. So to get a TV deal, to be able to have the House of Jones on a network channel, that's the goals that I want.
Excellent, excellent. I mean, well, you said you were in LA for a while. You have some Hollywood connects. So how are you going to take advantage of that? I mean,
well, you know, the thing about that is I've been gone from Los Angeles for so long that now I've lost all my connections. But here's the interesting thing that I hope really blows up, because Tyler Perry has a studio here. He's producing his show here, and I know that he wants to make Atlanta the Hollywood of the South. So this is a good situation for me. I would love for the House of Jones to be produced right here in Atlanta. As a matter of fact, when I left LA, a friend of mine, Kim Wayans, I was trying to get a TV deal when I was living in LA, and we didn't get a deal. And I told Kim, I said, you know, it wouldn't surprise me that I'll move away from California and get a TV deal. And now the situation is ripe for Atlanta. We got some things going on here with Tyler Perry. So hopefully we'll get something going on here.
okay, well, speaking of Tyler Perry, now I'm sure you get this all the time. House of Jones, House of Pain is his new show that's on TBS. You know, how are you going to deal with that? Are you going to keep the House of Jones? I mean...
Well, you know what? It would be difficult to have the same name.
Yeah.
even though I wrote The House of Jones almost 20 years ago. I've been told I need to change the name. If this thing is picked up, I have to change the name. So we've been kind of kicking some things around, but definitely we'll just change the name.
Okay, okay. Any ideas of what the name might be?
I don't know, but you know what? The House of Jones was so perfect.
I know, it's not terrible.
Because in the promo, it was the House of Jones Funeral Home.
Okay.
So it's about the two brothers that own and operate the funeral home. That's the name of their funeral home. So we got to change everything. So I was thinking about Jones versus Jones, or the house that Jones built, or
I like that.
Something like that. So we'll see what we come up with.
Okay, well, good luck with that. So, I mean, Tyler Perry's House of Pain and other sitcoms, how do you feel about cable TV and, you know, the sitcoms of today?
Well, you know what? I'm disappointed in the sitcoms that we see on television. I think that they've gotten away from the sitcoms that I'm used to. I think the 70s not only was the best time for music, it was the best time for situation comedies too. A lot of great comedies back in the 70s and in the 80s. I think it's time that we have a comedy, especially a comedy about a black family. But what I want to do is have good writing, good situations, a situation where people are interested in, characters that people are interested in. I want to see that being brought back. I hope The House of Jones is that type of comedy. I'm getting good response from that. And you know, these type of comedies that we do in the cable TV situations are notoriously bad. Because I filmed The House of Jones, most of that in my own house. I've seen a lot of people that had production that they've done and said, Rod, take a look at this. And they're notoriously bad. I didn't have great expectations from The House of Jones. But what I'm getting from that is people are telling me how funny it was, how they enjoyed the writing and the acting. I didn't expect all of that. And this is not network quality that I've done it in. So I'm thinking, if people like this the way I did it, just with a 2-camera shoot with a guy at my house, imagine if we can do it in a professional studio with professional actors and everything just done right, because they seem to get the point, the message, the comedy, the writing, and this is what I want to do on a broader scale.
Wow. Well, it has been a pleasure, and I know that House of Jones, it's going to go far regardless of what the name is. And I thank you so much for sitting down and talking with us.
My pleasure.
Best of luck with everything. Again, we're with Rod Lewis, Rural Hollywood. I'm Lauren Turner. Thank you.
We'd like to thank our guests, Rodney Lewis, Siva Kumar Selvaraj, and Parthaman Shanmugan, for appearing on our show. And we'd also like to thank you, our viewers, for joining us. So be sure to tune in next time for another great episode of Rural Hollywood.